What up, Kinfolk? Get your boy Screwface Capone in the house with this week's edition of the Stax for the week that ended July 11th, 2021. It's formerly known as 5-Bit News, but now it's renamed the Stax. I know you saw that intro, and I know it doesn't look any more different from the previous intro, but I'll come up with a new version, hopefully by next week. Also, for this week, I decided to go back to the freeform way, rather than the scripted style. The past several weeks I've been doing it scripted, type out the script, throw some game footage over it, and then record it. But this week I'm going to go back to where I just go through the news and talk through it as we look at it. Reason being is, number one, it helps me get these things out faster and sooner, because I know I've been waiting these past few weeks. So I know it's Tuesday morning as you're watching this, so going forward I'll try to have these up either by sometime between Monday afternoon and Tuesday morning at the latest. Also, because I can do it that way and get these things out the way, that way I can go back to working on some of the other content that I got planned for this channel. Like I said, I want to go back to some more history and lore and stuff and documentaries, so that's coming shortly. The second part of the King of Fighters anthology, most notably. So yeah, so if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know whenever I put out new content. So in this week's edition, we're going to take a look at the Nintendo Switch OLED, some Witcher related news from WitcherCon, some reviews from the Nacon Connect, some stuff from the PlayStation's Direct from last week. We finally know what platforms King of Fighters 15 is launching on, and the new Assassin's Creed might be a live service game. So let's hop right in. Our first article tonight, it seems that forever we've been hearing rumors about Nintendo releasing a Nintendo Switch Pro. Like, apparently this was supposed to be a more powerful version of the Switch that was going to have like 4K resolution and all that, and improved graphics to compete with Xbox One and PS4. But last week, Nintendo actually revealed that while there is a new model of the Switch coming, it's not a Pro. Let's take a look. This is Nintendo Switch OLED. It's going to be out this October 8th, just in time for Metroid Dread, which is launching the same day. If you saw the video, then you'll know that they were using this to promote Metroid Dread, and Metroid Dread to promote the OLED. So you got this cross-promotion thing going on where they're saying, if you want to play great games like Metroid Dread, get a Nintendo Switch OLED. Now, obviously, you can still play Dread with the original Switch, but this is a pretty clever way to market it. And of course, as you can see, it's only $50 more than the original version. So it's got the 7-inch OLED screen, a wired port on the LAN, and 64 gigs of internal storage. There's also an improved adjustable stand. You can change the angle for it too. And enhanced audio. So yeah, this is pretty much a Switch with some quality of life upgrades. Now, there's one thing I want to point out while I'm here. This is a video that I made back in February. It's about predictions I had. So, as you can see, you should pay close attention to this. So one rumor that's been floating around is that Nintendo is going to be announcing a Nintendo Switch Pro, which is presumably a more powerful version of the Switch. Now, Nintendo recently said that they won't be announcing a Switch Pro anytime soon. But what I do think they will be announcing is a different model of Switch. And like, what I mean by this is, like, you know how like when the Game Boy Color came out, they had like different versions of that, like the Game Boy Mini. They came out with... Alright, that's enough of that. But anyway, I totally called it. Nintendo Switch, I predicted this, and I'm right. But now, if you're familiar with Nintendo's history as a handheld developer and a console manufacturer, they tend to put out like these different upgrades to their device. Well, not so much upgrades, but like redesigns. Like with the Game Boy, they made the Game Boy Pocket, I think it was, or the Slim or whatever. And of course with the Game Boy Advance, they came out with the SP, which had that foldable clamshell and backlighting. And of course with the multiple versions of the DS as well. And this is no different. Like even with the NES, they came out with a redesign for that, like toward the end of the system's life cycle. But yeah, I totally predicted it. Now, of course, it's obviously aimed at people who don't already have a Switch. Who knows? I might even pick one up just because of the OLED screen. But let me know what you think about it. Do you plan on picking one up? Do you not plan about it? Are you disappointed? Or do you just don't care either way? But again, let me know what you think in the comments. On top of the stuff that I missed from E3, the developer WayForward announced at the Limited Run Games show that they will be developing a sequel to the 2019 brawler River City Girls. Not only are they bringing a sequel, however, but they're also making a prequel game. Well, actually, the prequel game is going to be a remastered version of a SNES Nacon game that was never released outside Japan. So let's take a quick look. So this is River City Girls 2, which is coming to every current and last-gen system in Steam. So apparently the sequel will bring back Misako and Kyoko, along with Kunio-kun and Riki, and there are going to be some new characters, which apparently these two girls might be the new characters. And I've noticed something interesting about this girl right here. If you played the game River City Underground, then she kind of reminds me of the chick named Pruvi. That's her right there. She had those breakdancing moves for those who didn't play it. River City Underground was actually a sequel that was independently developed, but they got the permissions from Arc Systems Works to publish it as a River City Ransom sequel. So it's kind of like a spinoff and a sequel and a spinoff. Of course, if you don't know, then the Kunio-kun series is this big meta franchise of games. It started with a game called Renegade. And of course the most famous entry is of course River City Ransom, which this game is a sequel to. Well, this game is a spin-off of anyway, but there's like tons of other games that spun off from the series, including the old Double Dragon games. A lot of these games never made it outside of Japan, and however, if you're interested, there is a Kunio-kun Retro Brawl. Let me bring it up real quick. Kunio-kun bundle. So it's available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. It's $40, but you get all these games, and many of them even have the option of switching between the Japanese and English language versions. And the cool thing about it is that they didn't just slap the game in there without translating it or anything. They actually translated the menus in the text in the interface. Because in the bundle, there's like more games that are released, that were unreleased in North America than are. So again, River City Ransom Girls 2, and the prequel is going to be called River City Girls 0, and this is an enhanced port of Shin Neketsu Koha Kunio Tachi no Banka, which first introduced Misako and Kyoko. So this is the first time that the game is going to be released in North America. It's going to have remastered graphics, some new intros, some new music, and all that good stuff. So it's coming out to Switch later on this year. So let me know. And as for the original River City Girls, it's still available on Xbox Game Pass. So if you like brawlers, then check it out. So it looks as though the next Assassin's Creed title will be going the live service route. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier last week leaked details about the upcoming Assassin's Creed Infinity that was, at the time, rumored. However, shortly after the leak, Ubisoft themselves would confirm on their website that Assassin's Creed Infinite was in the works. And while it didn't say much about what type of game it was going to be, they did reveal that the game was going to be a collaborative effort between the Montreal and Quebec studios. Jason Schreier's source, who declined to be named, revealed that Infinity was going to take a more of a live service route. Apparently, the new game will integrate multiple settings in multiple games, And they've been looking at games like GTA 5's online mode and Fortnite for inspiration. Of course, you know, this kind of ties into what everybody's been saying about the whole, and I'll put these in the comments anyway, but this ties into what everybody's been saying, that the Assassin's Creed has been losing its identity. Like, if you notice, it's moved more away from stealth, and these past few entries have been focused more on RPG action. So, of course, it remains to see how the gameplay is going to work out, since they want to integrate multiple games and time periods, or how the monetization will work, because this being Ubisoft, no doubt you have to look for microtransactions and stuff like that. But yeah, well, I guess we'll be learning more about this game throughout the next several months, and it'll probably be a while before we see it. But if there is one thing that you have to take away from this, it's that Ubisoft is currently dealing with allegations that they have ignored claims of sexual misconduct made by their employees and has done nothing to address these claims. On to the next story. Alright, so last week Sony held the latest in a series of State of Play presentations. This one focused more on indie games and third-party titles. There are updates to the Death Stranding PS5 Director's Cut Edition. Mainly that if you own the game on PS4, the upgrade to PS5 would cost $10. In addition to that, they also revealed that Moss Book 2 was currently in the works for the PlayStation VR. And there's Arcade-Mageddon, a multiplayer shooter that's in early access. Stuff for Tribes of Midgard, Hunter's Arena, and Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch, which is set for release later on this year. And of course, Sifu has been delayed to early 2022. And of course, there's stuff about Yakuza Lost Judgment, and as you can see, it'll contain a free upgrade for both PlayStation 5 and Series X. But the one thing I want to focus on is actually this: Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. Let's take a look at the trailer real quick. I'm gonna do this full size because I know I'll probably get hit with a copyright thing or something.
A mansion. Is this the place?
I'm scared.
It's okay. I'm with you. I'll keep you safe. The demon's scent is growing stronger.
The door! It just closed on its own! You saw it, right?
I don't care who! Just come and fight me! Whoever shows up will be my next prey!
I'm a demon slayer! Rank Mizunoto! Tanjiro Kamado!
Here I come!
And he's wielding Nichirin swords! Is he with the Demon Slayer Corps? Zenitsu?
He's not just pretending. He's really out cold.
Thunder breathing. First form. Thunderclap and flash.
It's gonna feel so good to rip such a huge target to shreds!
How could this human wound me?
Let's go! I'm not giving up! Not ever! Keep moving forward. Stay sharp. Give it everything you've got. You can do it!
I'll get my hands on that rare blood and reclaim my rightful place among the 12 Kizuki.
Yes! I've got him now!
Kill the blade that destroys demons. Okay. So yeah, that's Demon Slayer. I don't watch it much, but my brother loves it. From what I'm hearing, it's one of the biggest animes at the moment. And as you can see from the game, it looks like it's going to be a slasher beat-em-up hybrid. Also, the game's also coming to Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Steam. So if you're a Demon Slayer fan and you got an Xbox, then it's coming to your system as well. So don't worry. But yeah, that looks like a pretty good look for the franchise, and I'm surprised by the fact that it's Sega that are the ones that are publishing this instead of Namco Bandai, because Namco usually does the anime stuff. I think the last anime title I've seen from Sega was the Bleach video games that came out back in the day. I might be wrong, but yeah, that's Demon Slayer, and that's coming this fall, October 15th. Alright, so it looks like Sony wasn't the only one that had a big game presentation last week. French publisher Nacon had its show Nacon Connect last week, and they announced a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nacon is actually one of the publishers of what I tend to refer to as middle tier or middle shelf games. Those are like those titles that like aren't indie, but they're not AAA. So they just give you those good, solid gaming experiences that you love, but like they don't push the envelope with the production values. If you don't want to know what I'm talking about, look at games like Greedfall, The Surge. Focus is another publisher that's like that. And I know, like earlier this year, I reported on Nacon having some issues, having a big dispute with the Sinking City publisher. But at the show, like they actually got some cool stuff that's lined up. So we're going to take a look at a few of these items. First and foremost, here is Robocop Rogue City. It's a first-person shooter based on the movie trilogy, and it's coming to consoles and PC in 2023, so it's still a few years off. Say hello to Steve.
Top story, Old Detroit. Crime has escalated to new heights. Authorities are overwhelmed. OCP insists the situation is under control. But the question remains, who or what will send these crooks on the run and restore peace to all citizens once and for all?
Your move, creep. Alright, so that is Robocop Rogue City. So one thing I want to point out is that the developer on this game is Tion, and that's a name you no doubt recognize. They did 2014's Rambo video game that turned out to be a disaster, as well as the Terminator game, Terminator Resistance, from a couple years back, which to me is actually one of the best Terminator video game. So hopefully they can do justice to the Robocop property. I think the last time there was actually a Robocop video game, and this is outside of like mobile games and free to play stuff, it was back in 2003. So actually I want to bring that up real quick. Here it is, Robocop, the 2003 video game. This too is a first-person shooter, and this is back on the GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2. And as you can see, it got some rather lackluster review scores. It says that the sound and graphics, despite the game's lead development period, it has a bevy of horrible problems that render the game practically unavailable. So, yeah, it's your usual licensed garbage back then. Hopefully this new game will be better than that. Okay, next up also is Clash Artifacts of Chaos. This is actually a spinoff of the Xenoclash games. For those not familiar, like these were oddball first-person melee games. So this is actually a spinoff to that's coming next year. I'll post a link to this so you can take a look at the trailer. Some more stuff about Lord of the Rings Golem, Ad Infinitum, New World War Horror Sim, Steel Rising, set in an alternate history French Revolution, some stuff about Blood Bowl 3, and some updates to the skating game Session, Test Drive Unlimited, lots of good stuff, and new life sims showing off, a restaurant simulator, hotel life, train life. Yeah, so when I saw this, I first thought that they were like making a Sims type game, but unfortunately no. Guess we're still gonna have to wait for that what's it called? Well, I forget what it's. I forget what its name, but Pair Lives. I guess we're gonna have to wait for Pair Lives. How that's gonna take. The other thing I wanted to take a look at is this: Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, and they revealed a new character for the game. Let's take a look at it. This guy's Caleb, and this is one of the characters you'll be able to play as.
When did life become so cheap? Have we always been so fragile? I have lived many lifetimes. I've watched empires rise and fall. I've played politics. I've fallen in love and stood by as love died. And what do I have to show for it? Nothing. I am eternal. You are not. But rest assured, the end I gift you is a greater mercy than having to exist for yet another damn night.
Blood Leading the Blind. Yeah, that's Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. Let's see what else is on here. I'll get back to that. Also, new console peripherals. Again, I'll link to this. I was really intrigued about this Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. It's coming next year, so you'll be able to play as 3 vampires in Boston. They don't show much about the gameplay. But like, this captures the mood of the Vampire the Masquerade board game perfectly. That dark mood, vampires in the real world. Now so I'm definitely keeping my eye on this, because if you remember, Vampire the Masquerade 2 had been indefinitely delayed for whatever reason. Word is that it's being rebooted. Everybody knows how well beloved the original Masquerade was, and people have been wanting to follow up for like years. So obviously this game isn't going to be the same type of game as the Masquerade, but at the same time, if you want another game where you can play as a vampire, then here it is. So let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think about this game? Are you excited about it? Are you disappointed? Let me know what you think in the comments. So, speaking of shows and conventions, first ever WitcherCon was held this past weekend. It's an all-digital event, I believe, that basically showed off. That was basically a celebration of everything related to Witcher. So, Netlifx had several new projects to show off. So let's go over here. First of all, there's the upcoming season 2 of The Witcher. It began filming back in 2020, but it got delayed due to the pandemic. So it'll be coming it'll be coming out this year on the 17th of December. So you can see Jaskier is gonna be returning. We'll be seeing more of Geralt and see what's her name again? Geralt and Ciri. It's Monday, right? So it's gonna be a 7-episode long series. And here are the episode titles. I'll link this in the comments. And also there was the first teaser trailer for The Witcher Season 2. So you can watch it here. If you watch it, then it'll reveal some stuff. You'll get to see Kaer Morhen, which is the stronghold for the Witchers. You'll get to meet Vesemir, who is Geralt's superior, and you'll meet several other new Witchers. So there's Lambert, Esco, and Cohen. So and also, along with the upcoming Season 2, there's going to be a new anime coming out, The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf. So there is an Italian anime, and it's produced by Studio Mir, who worked on stuff like Avatar: The Legend of Korra, the Guardians of the Galaxy TV show, and just various things of various qualities. So let's look him up real quick. Yeah, he did the recent Batman Soul of the Dragon, Black Dynamite, Season 4 of the Boondocks, like all this stuff. So we got high hopes for this one. So apparently this is going to be released on August 22nd of this year and will lead into the events of Season 2. So it's going to depict Vesemir as a young boy, and it's going to explore the history of Kaer Morhen. And speaking of prequels, there's another Witcher project in the works. The Witcher Blood Origins. They recently cast Sophia Brown. The Witcher Blood Origins cast Sophia Brown in the role of Elite. An elite warrior with the voice of a goddess, her career as a nomadic musician gets cut short due to a grand reckoning on the continent. So apparently this is going to take place 1,200 years before the current TV show. And it's going to talk about the creation of the first Witcher and all that stuff. Now, I don't believe this is stuff that's based on the book, but still nice to see new Witcher stuff. And also they cast Michelle Yeoh. The very last elf of her with nomadic tribe restored elf, she is an artist with the blade on a deadly quest that will change the fate of the continent. So that's Michelle Yeoh. And Lawrence Ofori, I can't pronounce. And he's going to be in the show as well. So yeah, that's on his way as well. So I guess, I'm not sure if filming has started on it yet. It'll be a ways out. But in the meantime, we got Season 2 to tide us over. Yeah, Season 1 was definitely a pretty good show. It's one of the better, well, I don't want to say video game adaptations because it's clearly based on the book, but the video game is based on the book as well. And Season 1 takes place, is actually patterned after the book. Of course, they took a few liberties, but then again, what doesn't? So yeah, I can't wait till Witcher Season 2 comes out later this year. Let me know what you think. So also in addition to the Netflix Witcher projects, CD Projekt Red announced that they'll be adding Netflix-inspired DLC to the upcoming ports of Witcher 3 for the next-gen systems, as well as the current generation ports of the system. There's not a whole lot of information beside on what the DLC will be, but it's nice to know that they're still supporting this game after all these years, because it is a pretty good game, and this is the game that gave CD Projekt Red its clout. So yeah, that's something else to check out as well. Finally, some good news about the upcoming King of Fighters 15. As I've reported several weeks back, it had been delayed into early next year. That's probably a good thing. Hope we don't be able to polish it out, make it as good as possible. It's King of Fighters, so I got high hopes for it. But for the past several weeks, SNK had been revealing trailers for characters who are going to be included in the game. And for the longest time, we didn't know what platforms or the release date that the system was going to launch on. But while we still don't have a concrete release date, at least now we know what platforms it's coming out on. So you can see in the top right corner, it's coming on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X, along with Windows, Steam, and Epic Game Store. So that's a pretty good thing. Curiously, Xbox One is being skipped over, but hopefully by then they'll have the Series X's available. And so this is a pretty good thing for Xbox owners. The last new King of Fighters game to release on an Xbox console was King of Fighters 13, and that was all the way back on the Xbox 360 in 2011, if you can believe that. I know a few months ago they gave it out as a free Xbox Games with Gold perk. So if you have to check that out, that's a really awesome game. And here are like all the characters that have been revealed so far. You got like, here's a new character, Lulong. Leon is back, Chris Shermy, and Yashiro, the Orochi team from KOF 97. There's Yuri, of course there's Kaio, there's Chizuru from the Three Sacred Treasures team. So I think that's gonna be a team this year, the Three Sacred Treasures with Kaio, Iori, and Chizuru. And Benny Mar's gonna be part of the hero team with Shun Ai, or however you pronounce his name. So yeah, if you like those wacky lineups, then you're gonna be pleased by this. Here's some trailers. So again, you can go to their website and you can check these out, and they've been revealing new characters like on a periodic basis. And here's the hoping that they bring back the USA team for KOF 94. So yeah, this is King of Fighters 15, and it's coming to all next-gen systems, PlayStation 4 and PC. This week's pick of the week is dedicated to Yakuza Like a Dragon. The 7th main entry in Sega's Yakuza franchise takes the series in a bold new direction, swapping out the beat-em-up gameplay for turn-based RPG action. That wasn't the only change Sega made either. Longtime hero Kazuma Kiryu has been replaced with new hero Ichiban Kasuga. Though Sega knew these decisions would be risky, they managed to pull it off and create another awesome entry in this cult favorite franchise. Like a Dragon contains everything players love from Yakuza: a deep intricate plot, a wide open world, and tons of side activities players can do to take a break from the main storyline. The story has some emotional and serious moments, however there's a healthy dose of humor to balance things out as well. The voice acting is equally stellar, whether you choose to use Japanese or English voiceovers. Despite the changes made to the game, Like a Dragon is another great entry in the franchise, and it's also a great jumping on point for new players as well. That wraps it up for this week's edition of the Stax, the weekly gaming news. Again, let me know what you think, if you like the old style I'm doing now, or if you want me to go back to the pre-scripted one. Let me know in the comments, yay or nay. Also, let me know what you think about anything that you saw in this video. And if you like what you just saw, please feel free to click that thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button and the little bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know whenever I put out new content. I got some more stuff coming out. Of course, I keep saying that, but it's on the way. So, as for now, I hope you have a great rest of the week. And until next time, I'm Audi 51000G, kinfolk.